All right, hello. This is a video going over section 1.2, which is transformations of linear and absolute value functions. Number 1 says let f of x be equal to the quantity x minus 3 squared plus 1. And it wants us to write a function g. Okay, so we're going to start with g of x, who represents a horizontal shift right 2. Okay, so when we're moving right and left, remember that's paired with the x. So we start at x minus 3. We're going to the right 2, and because we're going to the right, we're going to subtract 2 from there, plus 1. Okay, let's simplify this now. So x minus 3 minus 2 becomes an x minus 5 squared plus 1. Okay, so that takes care of that one. And then it says followed by a reflection over the x-axis. So that means we're going to take everything that we have here, reflect it over the x-axis, so we're going to make it negative. So when we distribute that negative through, we've got a negative x minus 5 squared. Don't distribute inside those parentheses, okay? But when we distribute, we do end up with a minus 1, okay? So make sure if there's a reflection that it has to reflect every single part of your function, okay? It's got to reflect this part, and then it has to reflect that as well, all right? Now it wants a function h, and we're going to go 5 units down, okay? So we start with what we're originally given. 5 units down, though, means we're going to subtract 5. So then that puts us at x minus 3 squared. 1 minus 5 is a negative 4. And then we're going to do a vertical stretch of 3. So that means we're going to take everything we have and we're going to stretch it by 3. So again, this is a situation in which we're going to have to distribute. So we've got h of x is equal to take the 3, distribute it to that term. So you're left with 3x minus 3 squared. Again, don't distribute inside, but that 3 also applies to that minus 4 on the end. And 3 times negative 4 is a negative 12. Okay. Hunky-dory. C. Write a function j whose graph represents a shift left 4 units. Okay, so we've got j of x. And we're going to go left 4. So when we go left, we add 4. Okay? And we have a plus 1 from the original equation, but we're going to go up 1 unit. Okay? So it takes care of that one and that one. Let's go ahead and simplify that before we move on. So x minus 3 plus 4 now becomes a plus 1. And 1 plus 1 becomes a 2. Okay? Now it wants us to reflect over the x-axis. So that means take everything we've got and make it negative. So when we distribute that negative, we end up with negative quantity x plus 1 squared minus 2, right? Because that negative times a positive becomes a negative. And now it wants a vertical shrink of 1/2. So that means take everything we have here and shrink it by 1/2. So again, we have to multiply that 1/2 through. So j of x is equal to negative 1/2, because we're going to take the 1/2 to this term, negative 1/2 of x plus 1 squared. And then 1/2 times a negative 2 is a minus 1. Okay? And that's where you end up. Sweet. One more. You make cards to sell. Your revenue is represented by f of x is equal to 3x. Your profit, okay, so your profit, which we'll say p of x, is means equals, 15 more than, okay, so $15 more than 60%, that's 60%, 0.60, of the revenue. Of means multiplication, and the revenue they gave us was 3x. And they want to know what is the profit for 200, not cards. Okay, so we're looking for the profit if we sell 200 cards. So we've got 15 plus 0.60 times 3 times 200. Okay, now let me find my graphing calculator here. We can do that. So we've got 15 plus 0.6 times 3 times 200, and that is $375. Boom, roasted, done. All right, if you're still having some issues, please come in and see me. I'd love to help you. Remember, please do your homework. You don't get extra credit for these videos until you do your homework. Bye.